यू आर लाइव और जितना टाइम लगता है
ये वाला कॉपी करके भेजना।
हाँ, अगर बच्चों ने सब्सक्राइब कर लिया होगा तो जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी। नहीं किया, इसमें खोल लो और यहीं से सीधे टॉगल हो जाएगा वो। इसमें खोल लो ना, यहाँ से व्हाट्सएप हो जाता है वो। इसमें खोलो यूट्यूब, उसमें ना शेयरिंग का मोड है उसके अंदर।
चैनल में
हाँ, आप अपना चैनल खोलो ना, मुझे दे दो, मैं कर देता हूँ। आप सामने आ जाओ, लाइव आ रहा है ना, आप सामने जाओ, आपकी फोटो आ जाएगी। आपकी इधर इधर देख लो, आप इधर देख लो।
हाँ,
चलो गुड मॉर्निंग बोल दो।
गुड मॉर्निंग स्टूडेंट्स। I am sending you the link to get connected. Then we will start the class.
एक्सेप्ट कर, एक्सेप्ट कर। ब्राइटनेस बढ़ाता हूँ मैं, उसका सामने देखना था थोड़ा, इसकी ब्राइटनेस आएगी मतलब स्पॉट आएगा। ठीक है, इसका स्पॉट बढ़ रहे ना, बंद कर देंगे। ये वाली ट्यूबलाइट भी घुमा दी ना, इसको इधर ले लो ना, दूध दे, इसको इधर ले लो। आगे चल के मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ, इसको यहाँ रखवा दो, कर लो इसको दोनों को, स्क्रीन और इसको। तीन हो गए ना सर, इसको यहाँ ले लोगे ना, यहाँ से इसको और इसको, और नहीं तो इसको क्या करो, आगे यहाँ खिसका दो और ये ऐसे ही रहने तो ये टर्न हो जाएगा आपकी तरफ। ये आप आराम से देखो, चलो सर एक्सपेरिमेंट सफल हो जाएगा ना तो मजा आ जाएगा।
हाँ मैं लाइव लिंक भेज दिया, कनेक्ट तो नहीं हो रहे हो तुम लोग? हाँ कनेक्ट हुई है तो लिस्ट में आ नहीं रही है, दिख रहा हूँ। अच्छा तो यहाँ पे पार्टिसिपेंट की लिस्ट में नहीं आ रहा है कुछ, चलो ठीक है। ओके, यू आस्क योर क्वेश्चंस। यहाँ पे जो भी मैसेज है ना, टेक्स्ट करो क्वेश्चन किस में डाउट था, उससे हम लोग डिस्कस करेंगे, उससे हम लोग चालू करेंगे, ठीक है? ओके। I think most of you are having problem in constructor overloading. What is constructor overloading? I think this is the 7th question. So I am going to discuss what is constructor overloading, and I will give you the examples how to define the constructor overloading. So let us start. Constructor overloading is a feature through which we are defining a constructor in more than one ways by just changing the way of passing the parameters. Okay, so we are going to see the example. Let us create a class. I am creating a class sample. Okay, the board is visible to you, all of you or not? The board is visible to all of you or not? You can reply with text. You can reply with text messages. Okay, I am taking two members of integer int a, comma b. There are two variables int a and b. Now I am going to create the constructor. Public sample. This is called default constructor. Here in default constructor we are not passing any arguments. That's why it is called default constructor. We are not passing any of the argument. That's why it is called default constructor. And we can initialize the members with any of the value that will be a default value. Say for example, I am initializing A with 5 and B with 6. Then every time, whenever we are going to create an object of this sample class, those objects members A and B will always initialize with 5 and 6. That is the meaning of default constructor. Okay. Next, I am going to define the parameterized constructor. Simple. In parameterized constructor, we require to pass parameters for initializing the value of the data members. So here I am taking int x, comma int y. This x and y are going to initialize a and b. Here a equal to x and b equal to y. Next, the third type of constructor is copy constructor. The third type of constructor is copy constructor. Copy constructor is a special type of constructor which takes the instance of another object to create the new object. So as a parameter in copy constructor, we will take an instance of class. See, here the data type of the parameter is simple, the class name, because copy constructor always takes an instance of another object to initialize the data member of new object. Understood? All of you understood? So here we will use the initialization a equal to a. A means this is the member of current object, and that will be initialized with the value of the instance of this parameter object. Parameter is s, so we will write s dot a. The value of instance object. So we have written s dot a. Similarly, b equal to s dot b. The definition of the class is over. So here, why it is called overloading? Because all the three functions are having same name, simple. All the functions are having same name, simple, and they are constructor. As we know, they are constructor. That's why this process is called constructor overloading. That's why this process is called constructor overloading. Here only we will discuss the difference between parameterized constructor and copy constructor. You can ask your other doubts also if you are having. And those who have not connected, you tell them to connect. Here, now we will discuss the difference between parameterized constructor and copy constructor. Parameterized constructor takes the individual parameters for each and every data member. Like here we are having in the class, we are having two data members A and B. So in parameterized constructor, we have taken two parameters x and y to initialize the value of the data members. In copy constructor, what we are doing, we are taking an instance of the class. That means an object which is already created, and that will be used to create another new object of the same class. So here we have taken S, and ampersand sign tells that we are using reference of this object. A and B belongs to the current member of the object, and S dot A and S dot B are the member of this parameter object. I hope this is clear between parameterized constructor and copy constructor. Now I will show you how to call the constructors, because this question is also coming frequently in the question number 2 part. So I am going to discuss that part. How to call the same constructor. I will show you how to call them. Understood? Here I am showing the different way of calling all the three types of constructor. The questions are coming Write the statement to invoke different type of constructor. And this question is coming in the second question, first part of the second question in the paper. So how it will be called? In main we are doing all the calling statements. So I am going to write main here. The class name is sample. If we will write only the object name, sample S, here the sample is class name and S is object name. Sample is class name and S is object name. Understood? So with object we are not passing any argument to create this object. So this is called calling of default constructor. All of you understood? If you are unable to understand, you can send the messages on WhatsApp as well as in the text messages. You can send the reply. It is the help of text messages. The second one, this is the calling of default constructor. You have to write only one statement regarding for calling the default constructor. In the second way, sample is the class name and we are going to create another object S1 with the help of, because in parameterized constructor we have to pass two parameters, so we have to pass two parameters from here to create S1. To create S1. To initialize the data member of S1, we require two values, two integer value to initialize A and B data member of S1. For that, you can directly put the value also 4 and 5. 4 and 5 are integer, so they can be easily stored in X and Y, and they will initialize the data members A and B of S1. Is it clear to all of you? Any problem in hearing or viewing this board? You can send the reply on WhatsApp as well as in text message. Okay. Another way is we can initialize another variable. Say for example W, I have taken W equal to 6 and Z equal to 7 I have taken. So I can call sample S2 with W and Z. We can directly pass the values also, but the values should have the same data type as the data members. Say for example, the data member is of string, so we have to pass a string from this object. Here we have initialized the integer variable int W equal to 6, int Z equal to 7, and we have passed W and Z in this statement. So this statement is used to declare an object of sample class with two parameters W and Z. And with the definition of this one, we are able to understand that only one function, that is parameterized constructor, who is matching the definition of this one, this object. So that will be called. In parent-wise, in copy constructor, for calling the copy constructor, we have to write sample S3, and here we have to see three objects are already created as S1 and S2. So we can pass the instance of any of the object in this one to create S3. Say for example, I am passing S1. So S3 will be initialized with the values of the data number of S1. I think this is clear to all of you. You can ask your queries on WhatsApp as well as in the text message. I'm not getting any questions from your side. You can ask your questions separately. Whatever doubts you are having, only output question you should not ask today, but you can ask any of the question, whatever I send you, those 10 questions. Those who have sent it the answers, most of your answers are correct. Some answers are very wrong. One more question most of you have asked, what is a static member and what is the use of a static member in the class? So I am going to discuss that question. For that, you have to understand what are the types of member a class is having. In class, we are declaring two types of members, data members and function member. Data member and function member. In data member also, there are two types of members are there in data member. One is instance member, another one is static member. Instance member and static member. Instance member are the members which are repeated in each and every object of the class. Say for example, this is class A and I am going to create so many instances of A. A1, A2, A3. Understood? So, whatever data members will be declared without whatever data member are declared without static keyword, they will be available in all those objects, and whatever data member is declared with the static keyword, that will not be the part of object. That is the meaning of static member. Basically, the static member belongs to the class, not with the instances. That means ये ऑब्जेक्ट में रिपीट नहीं होगा. जो डेटा में नॉर्मल डेटा मेंबर्स होते हैं वो ऑब्जेक्ट के पार्ट होते हैं, बट स्टैटिक डेटा मेंबर जो होता है वो क्लास का पार्ट होता है. इट इज नॉट द पार्ट ऑफ, it is not repeated in each and every object of the class. Understood? I am going to give you an example. Say for example, class sample. Here I have created int a comma b as a normal data member, instance member, and one static int c, static int c, and I have closed the class. Now I am going to create an instance sample s comma s1. So s comma s1 will be having data member a and b. Both the objects are having a and b, but c will not be the part of both the object. That is the meaning of static member. That does not mean that static member cannot be accessed by the objects, because all of you are knowing that members are made for the objects. So how this will be accessed? So as I told you in the beginning, this belongs to the class. That means this is also known as class member. Class member. This is a member of sample class. So for accessing these members, we have to tell the scope, because whenever we are creating a static member, it becomes global. Okay, static members are also known as global variable. So it becomes global. For accessing a static member, here C is there, and all the object can access them, but this is not the part of any of the object. They can access them with the help of class name. For accessing this C, we have to use sample scope resolution C, so it will be accessed. We cannot access it directly. C, like A and B will be accessed. So the use of, because what is static member, I think you understood. This is known as the class member. This is known as the class member, and this is not repeated in every object of the class. This is not repeated in every object of the class. So we are going to understand what is the use of static member. Static member is used for counting, because this is accessible from outside, and every object can access this one, but this is not being the part of object. So this is used to monitor the number of the object created in a class. This is used to monitor the number of object created in the class. This is the use of a static member. And we cannot change the value of the static member frequently. This is the use of static member. That's all from static member. Any other question from your side? 7 of you are connected, but no one is asking any question. I am not able to see any question from you side. You can ask the question on WhatsApp also right now. No text messages are visible on the screen. Copy constructor and parameterized constructor is over. Static member is over. What is constructor overloading is over. Difference between global variable and local variable. Most of you have written correct answer. What is the use of scope resolution operator? Now we will see the use of scope resolution operator. Use of scope resolution operator. After that, I will wind the class because no one is asking the question. Most of you are connected, but you are not asking the questions. So tomorrow you send me the questions on WhatsApp. Then tomorrow also I will be live between this time, 10 to 11. And if you subscribe me and notify me, then you will get automatically notification that I am live. Okay? So, what is the use of scope resolution operator? As the name suggests, scope resolution operator specifies the scope of a variable or any identifier. Functions also, variables also, identifiers or any type of identifiers, scope is defined by scope resolution operator. And this is basically used whenever we are declaring a function inside the class and we want to define that function outside the class. Declaring the function inside the class, because the function is declared inside that particular block, the compiler is having permission to access the normal block of the program, but those functions are getting declared inside the class and we want to define the same function outside the class. In that case, we are using class name, first return type, then class name, then scope resolution, then function name, like this. We are using the definition of those type of functions. The meaning of this one is this, due to this scope resolution operator, when the compiler compiles this function and it finds that before the function name a scope resolution operator is there. So just before the scope resolution operator, whatever word is there, that must be a block name. that must be a block name, and that block is the scope of this function. That means this functions belongs to this block, that is class name. All of you understood? So scope resolution operator defines the scope of any identifier. Here this identifier is function. In previous question, I told you to access the static member, we have to write sample class name scope resolution C equal to 5. Here also the static member C is the member of class sample. So while accessing C, while initializing the value in C, which C? Where is this C? So this C belongs to sample. This statement will not search that C is a part of any of the object of this class or anything. It will search in the sample class. Understood? So a scope resolution operator is used to define the scope of a variable where it belongs to. So C belongs to sample. So the compiler will search this variable C in sample, nowhere else. All of you understood, I think. So scope resolution operator is not having any work. This is used to define the scope of any of the identifier. That's all. And you can use these examples. Function example and one static member example. That's all. I hope you understood. Next question is, what is the difference between formal parameter and actual parameter? Most of you have written the right answer. Most of you have written whatever you have sent the answers, and whoever sent the answers, their answers were right. But then also I am going to clarify what is formal parameter and what is actual parameter. For that I am taking an example. Say for example, a function. I am defining a function. Void sample. Sample is a function name. Int. It is having two parameters, a comma b. And here I have written the body of this function. Say for example, I have written int c equal to a plus b and c out c. I have written get ch. Get ch. Now I am calling this function. This is one way of calling this function. Another way is I have created x equal to 6 and y equal to 7 int, and I am calling this function sample x comma y. That's all. Whenever we are defining a function, the functions are having requirement that they are going to take the arguments from the calling function or not. In that process, we are specifying the parameters, As I told you earlier also, we are specifying parameters. So A and B both are of integer type, and they are the parameters which are going to help to perform the operations in simple function. Understood? So they are called parameters. They are called parameters. Because they are going to take input from the calling function. They are going to take input from the calling function. Okay, here in calling statement, we are passing the argument from the parent function. Main is passing 8 and 9 to call sample. Here we are passing the argument, and here we are receiving the argument. In definition statement, we are receiving the argument in the parameters, and here we are passing the arguments from the calling function. So they are called arguments. This question can also be asked by you. What is the difference between parameter and arguments? So this is the difference between parameter and argument. The variables which are used in the definition of the function are called parameters, and the variables which are variable or constant which are used in the calling statement are called arguments. Is it clear to all? The variable which are used in calling of the function as a parameter are called arguments, and the variable which are used in the definition of the function as a parameter are called parameters. And this is only known as, this is called formal parameter, and this is called actual parameter. This is called actual parameter, and this is called formal parameter. Understood? So how we will define the differences? Formal parameters are the parameters which are defined in the definition of the function, and this is known as, this one is known as header of the function. Header of the function. And these are calling statement. Both are calling statement. In calling statement, whatever variables we are passing for calling the particular function is called actual parameter, and the variable which are used for receiving the values from the calling statement, that is known as formal parameter. How this will be called? With 8 and 9, 8 and 9 will be passed from this calling statement, and this 8 and 9 will received by A and B. Understood? Then operation will be performed, and again this will return back to the next statement. I hope this is clear to all of you. If you are still having any doubt, you can ask your doubts. Tomorrow again I will be live on the same time, and I will give you the answers properly. If you are having any of the doubt in the whole syllabus except output, because output questions are bigger, I will do it separately. I will tell you remaining all things And tomorrow I will discuss inheritance problem also. So you prepare the questionnaire, and you send me on WhatsApp. I will see the question, and one by one I will explain all the questions tomorrow. And from tomorrow you will use the text messaging to give the response in between the classes, in between the going class. Understood? You can do the WhatsApp also. So today I am going to wind the class. I hope you understood the whole class. Those who didn't understood, they will see the video and they are able to understand the class. You notify me so that you will get the notification when tomorrow I will be online. No need to use the link. As if you will notify me, you will get the notification. Tomorrow I am going to end the session. Good day, beta.